Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at ratios, what they are, how they can be set up, and then how we can use them to solve for different values. So our first really big key concept is defining what a ratio is. A ratio is a comparison of two or more things. So for example, boys to girls is something I can compare. Red beads to blue beads. And when I'm writing ratios, I can write them three different ways. I can write them in words. So for every 3 green eggs, there is 5 blue eggs. This is the word version. I can write them using a colon. And so that example is right here where it says the ratio 3 green eggs to 5 blue eggs. Or I can write them as a fraction. So they don't have a fraction already written, but if I know it's 3 green eggs to 5 blue eggs, then I can say that that is 3 green to 5 blue. And so all 3 different versions of the ratio represent the same thing. So we're going to go through a couple different examples, and we're just going to be writing the ratio in simplest form for every scenario. Now, for my sake, I'm going to represent these as fractions, but you could represent them another way as well. So for number 1, I have 15 boys for every 20 girls. We want to write the ratio of boys to girls. So I'm going to underline boys to girls because that tells me the order of the ratio that I'm writing. So I'm going to write boys to girls right here so that helps me know how I need to set it up. And the word problem told me that there are 15 boys for every 20 girls. But they wanted us to write this ratio in simplest form. And so I'm just going to simplify my fraction. And I see that my numerator and my denominator are both divisible by 5. So I'm going to scale down by 5. And so I get that for every 3 boys, there are 4 girls. And so here is my ratio in simplest form. For the second one, it tells us that 8 cats for every 10 dogs. And we want to write the ratio of cats to the total number of animals. And I'm going to underline this because it's important that they said cats to the total number, because this is a part to a whole comparison. Now, the first example, we were comparing boys to girls, so we were comparing a part to a part. So when I write my ratio, they're asking me to compare cats to total. And it tells me that for every 8 cats, there are 10 dogs, which means if there's 8 cats and 10 dogs, then total there is 18 animals. But again, we want to write this in the simplest form. And I see 8 and 18 are both even, which means they're divisible by 2. So I can scale down by 2 to the numerator and denominator, and I get 4 knights. So that tells me that out of 9 animals, every time 4 of those will be cats. So I want you to pause this video and I want you to take your time to now write the ratios for 4 and 5 and express them in simplest terms. All right, so let's take a look at number 4. You should have thought that you were comparing tigers to bears. And there are 2 tigers for every bear. And so since it's already in simplest form, our ratio is just 2 to 1. For number 5, you were comparing dollars to books. And every $18, you can buy 6 books. And when you scale that down, you get that it's $3 for 1 book. And so this is your simplest form of your ratio. The last thing that we're going to take a look at is how to problem solve using ratios. So I have a packet of beads and it has 8 red beads for every 6 blue beads. And I think that's important, so I'm going to highlight that. If there are 18 blue beads, how many red beads are there? So they're giving me that there's 18 blue beads, and I'm looking for how many red beads are. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So when I analyze the question and I determine what I know that there's 8 red for every 6 blue. And then I know that there are 18 blue beads, and I'm trying to figure out how many red. So I'm going to represent my thinking in a ratio table. And I know I'm comparing blue to red. So I put the ratio that I know. And I know that for every 8 red, there are 6 blue. And then I'm going to put the information I'm trying to get. And I'm trying to find how many red there are when there are 18 blue beads. So I see that I can scale up from 6 to 18 by 3. So then I'll scale up by 8 times 3 to find that there are 24 red beads. All right, thank you.